No offense, mom, you're not the lady of the house either because your man's dead. That's fucked up, but it's true. Am I the asshole for kicking my mom out of my dad's old house after finding out what she's been telling my wife? I, 33 male, am beyond angry about this. Some of my siblings are telling me it was an overreaction while also mad at what she did. My wife, Kara, and I were friends for years. She was in a very toxic and abusive relationship for 3 years until she had begged me and our close friends to help her get out. It was difficult, but we made it possible. We all pitched in for her to stay as far away as possible while she got a restraining order and all that jazz. We each took turns going to visit, then she found out she was pregnant, so I helped out more. Her ex passed away from an overdose when my stepson, 7 male, was 4 months old, so since then we all became sort of like uncles and aunts to him. Around that time, I knew I developed feelings for her, but we never did anything because she had a son and personal issues to process. It didn't feel right at the time. But yes, we did start a relationship 3 years later. She's the one who first admired she's in love with me, so things went from there. We just got married. She's 5 months pregnant with our second child. I will say that yeah, my mom had issues at the start of our relationship because she believed Cara was faking what happened to her just to make me feel sorry for her and take care of them. We went through a period of not talking until she apologized, so we mended things somewhat. My mom came to stay at our house, which was my dad's house, until he decided to give ownership to me when they moved. He passed away 10 months ago, and with the economy, my mom couldn't stay where they were living before. We are still trying to work out where she can live long term. I heard my mom get into an argument with my wife because she was trying to redecorate the nursery against Kara's wishes. All I heard was my mom telling her that she's not the lady of the house just because her fake victim sob story worked on me. No. Oh my god. That's all I need to hear. Your mom's definitely the asshole. Why would she say something like that? No offense, mom. You're not the lady of the house either because your man's dead. That's fucked up, but it's true. She looked flustered when I demanded her to tell me what she meant. And basically, she held on to that same belief, but she was willing to put up with my choices on who I marry so she doesn't lose me. Everything she had to say infuriated me. And then seeing how upset Kara was by everything, I called my brother to come pick my mom up because she can't stay here right now. My mom wouldn't stop crying not to do this to her for just being honest. Okay, she can't cry and say, don't do this to me. I'm just being honest. Honest to who? That's just your opinion. You don't know why she got with him. You don't know why he got with her. Like, oh my God. She's still at my brother's, but they keep trying to talk to me to let her come back because this was my dad's house. And of course, she wants to feel closer to him. But after asking Kara if this is the first time she had said something, she revealed that my mom has told her numerous times what she thinks of her, and she kept it from me because she knew it would hurt our relationship. For that reason, I haven't let my mom come back. It's hard because I know what this house means to her and that she's still sad about my dad, but also can't forgive her for upsetting my wife. So, am I the asshole? Mom's psycho. I'm sorry. Like, why would you say that? Like, you're already with her, you're already married, you already have another baby on the way. Like, mom needs to suck it up and understand that this is the life you want to live. Like, you're happy. Why does she have a stick up her ass? I don't know. I told her that's chubby. You're chubby. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend she's not curvy, she's chubby? Oh my god, buddy, you're running on a thin line right now, and that line snap for sure. I'm already calling you an asshole for this, but let me hear you out. So my girlfriend, 23 female, and me, 26 male, have been together since 2019. She used to weigh about 125 pounds at 5'8". She was pretty thin. The past 13 months, she gained 25 pounds and now weighs 150 pounds. She continuously calls herself curvy, and that's just not true. Her boobs did not grow with the weight gain, and she is still a 34A cup. Her thighs and butt area did grow a bit, but she's still not an hourglass. You're an asshole. Holy shit. I don't like what? Stop. I wouldn't be bothered by this if she didn't heavily identify with it. When she was 125 pounds, she kept identifying with how thin she was. At 125 pounds, she was proud that they couldn't see anything on her CT scan when she had an appendicitis because she was too skinny. She wants to make a TikTok fashion page dedicated to curvy fashion. I got annoyed with her identifying so much with a body type that isn't even hers that I said, "You're not curvy, you're chubby." She looked at me stunned. I told her curvy was like Beyonce, for example. She said that she felt that she was curvy because she's not skinny anymore and not fat. I told her that's chubby, you're chubby. And she began to cry and left my apartment. Ah, ah, oh my god, wow, that's so mean. It's been 12 hours and we haven't talked since. I know this was mean, but it was true. I was so frustrated with the idea of her making this fashion TikTok account for a body type that's not hers. See, let's get to the root of it. Why does that bother you? It's like her own personal TikTok. Like, why do you care? Why does that bother you? It's her life, it's her body, it's her TikTok. Like, why does that? Does has nothing. It doesn't affect your life at all. Also, she hasn't had an eating disorder or anything. I think she just naturally gained weight as she got older. Am I the asshole for stating a fact? The day after the funeral, those of us who missed the wedding were sent requests for $125 by Tara as a refund for meals and favor bags. my gosh. Am I the asshole for telling my stepdaughter she isn't owed refunds from guests that missed her wedding for a funeral? Oh my goodness. My stepdaughter Tara, 27, recently got married. I've been with her mother for 10 years total, so she didn't grow up with me around. She has her father and his family in her life. She is not extremely close with my side of the family, and that's fine. 6 days before her wedding, my father died unexpectedly. The people invited to her wedding from my family was myself, my 2 kids, my brother, and one of my sisters. I flew out to see my mother immediately and was gone for 2 days. My wife wanted to stay behind to help Tara with her wedding prep, and my mom and aunt handled the funeral arrangements. They were aware of Tara's wedding and tried to be mindful of it and also give our family time to get in town for the funeral. One funeral home serves the area my parents live in, and the dates available for service were day before the wedding, day of the wedding, or day after the wedding. They went with a date after. My siblings skipped the wedding since they live in different states and would only be able to get time off to afford to travel for one ceremony, so they went with our father's funeral. Duh. Like, that's the obvious choice. My kids and I stayed for Tara's wedding, took photos, and left right after the ceremony since it was a 6 hour drive and airline prices were insanely high, and I'd already dropped a good bit of money on the first flight after my dad died. Wow, honestly, good for you for still making it out to the wedding. Like, there shouldn't be no shame in you not going, but that's really strong of you to be able to go. So, oh my god, she's gonna be butthurt that people missed her wedding for a funeral. Ugh, let me see what happens. The day after the funeral, those of us who missed the wedding were sent requests for $125 by Tara as a refund for meals and favor bags. Oh my gosh. My kids and siblings asked if she was serious, and I told them I'd call her to find out. When I called, she said she was serious and we had cost her money and owed her for missing her wedding. Yo, their dad died. Oh my, what insensitive piece of shit. Oh my gosh. Tara and my wife think we all should have stayed for the wedding and reception and left afterward. I told them both before the wedding that wouldn't be doable and why. My brother and sister couldn't afford 2 plane tickets or get that many days off, and they had sent their apologies and wedding gifts to her. I also pointed out that we couldn't all fit in one car to drive there. My wife insists that I should pay all the refunds and my mother shouldn't have scheduled a funeral the day after the wedding, and worse for me to leave on Tara's wedding day. Oh my god, this isn't Am I the Asshole, but I think this should be under entitled Ass Piece of Shits. I might be an asshole because I told Tara that we gave her and her husband a few days heads up we wouldn't be attending the reception, so it's not like they got blindsided, and to demand refunds over a funeral was beyond unreasonable. Am I the asshole for locking the door to prevent my husband from getting involved in my job interview? I, 33 female and unemployed, but God knows I have been looking for jobs. I'm a sales rep for well over 5 months. My husband has a high paying job. First, he suggested that I leave my career as a sales rep behind, not up to his wealthy family standards, they'd mock me for it a lot, and stay home, but I refused because I love my job and want to grow in it. He suggested he finds me a better job since he has a lot of connections, but that's not in my field. I've had several job interviews, and my husband has ruined all of them for me, and here's how. He'd walk into the room whenever I'm having a potential job interview, and he'd introduce himself and take over the conversation with the interviewer. He'd tell them about how good I am, but slip up in some bad stuff that eventually cost me the job. He's sabotaging you. Let's get it straight. He does not want you to be working. Wait, hold up. Before all that, he walks into her interviews. Like, who does he think he is? God forbid if you had ever done that to him, he would have been pissed. So why does he think he can do that to you, let alone anyone? Like, no one should be in there when you're interviewing. His argument was that he's just making recommendations since he has connections and influence, but I told him to stop and let me handle it. He sulked, saying he was just trying to guide me and whatnot. Several days ago, I'd gotten a job interview, and after getting inside the room and before the interview started, I locked the door. My husband tried to come in and started knocking on the door, asking why I was locking the door and telling me to let him in. I put my headphones on and used noise canceling, but he kept knocking, telling me to open the door. After the interview was over, I unlocked the door and walked out. He went off on me, calling me disrespectful and awful to lock him out like that. I said I was sorry, I wanted to work with this company so badly and I couldn't let him ruin it for me. He got offended and said that I was being petty and childish and also ungrateful because of the stunt I pulled, and said that he was just trying to help me get the best deal out there. I said I'm not a child, and he said yes I was, especially with how I behaved and for excluding him from my interview. Oh my god, forget about this interview woman. This guy has control issues. If he's doing this just over your job, imagine you later down in life when you want to make other decisions. This is just screaming obsessive, screaming red flags, screaming get out of here, screaming this guy thinks he's an alpha male and listens to a lot of podcasts about male domination and shit like that. Get out of there. You could have a photo of their dead daddy. Am I the asshole for telling my husband to stop trying to parent my kids through their dead dad? He's probably like, your father wouldn't like this. Your father is disappointed in you. And that is traumatic. That is not okay. That is bad parenting. But let's see what's going on. I, 36 female, lost my late husband years ago. I'm now married to my husband of 2 years, Jason. He loves his stepkids 9 and 6 and does a lot of things with them. However, he started doing something lately that I find weird and unacceptable. Whenever one or both kids do something wrong, instead of giving out proper punishments that we both agreed upon, he'd grab a photo of my late husband and start addressing it, complaining about the kids' behaviors while the kids stand and listen. You grab a photo of their dead daddy and tell them they're being bad kids? That is like next level fucked up. That is like traumatic. That is going to cause them psychological issues in the future. He then proceeds to tell them that their dad is mad at them and is disappointed they did this or that. I'm aware of the psychological impact this type of discipline can have on them. The kids would sometimes feel so guilty they'd start crying, then ask if dad is really disappointed in them because their stepdad told them he told him that. So now he can talk to the dead too? I told him to knock it off several times, and last night I blew up on him after I found out he told my daughter that her dad said he'd disown her if she did X thing again. Her dad's dead! Why are you weaponizing his death to his kids? That is so fucked up. I told him he was going too far and is causing huge damage to the kids and tainting their memory of their deceased father. He was like, this way they'll learn, and if they really love their dad, then they'll behave. I said, listen, the kids love and will always love their dad, and what you're doing is causing damage to their love and remembrance for their dad. He said I was overreacting, but I argued that I already warned him. He said something about him being a parent too, and that I have to respect his parenting and stop trying to act like the cool parent and to step up instead. He then went outside and stayed gone for hours. My sister said I'm being unfair to my husband and that he clearly cares about the kids, otherwise he wouldn't care about them, correcting and never repeating their mistakes. So, am I the asshole for my reaction? Okay, I'm sorry. If anyone agrees with this type of parenting style, you need help. This is not okay. If someone did that to me, if my dad was dead, I'm 26. If someone was like, Malala, this is your father, and he's disappointed in you, I would cry. I would cry. I would feel like shit. And that I'm an adult. These kids aren't even fully developed, and you're giving them that type of trauma. In other words, he claims to predict the future. Am I the asshole for refusing to give my boyfriend a percentage of my raise just because he predicted it? Okay, this might sound kind of, but let me explain. I, 32 female, have been with my boyfriend, 35 male, for 7 years. He has what he calls supernatural ability, and that is to dream about things or events before they take place. In other words, he claims to predict the future. He once talked about seeing me getting a new car in his dream, and in 2 months' time, I bought a new car that I was saving for. Another example, he told me about seeing a new friend coming into my life in this dream. Turns out he was talking about the dog I adopted in July. Basically, events that weren't so surprising. Now, I've got a raise at work, around 40% after working my ass off for 6+ years with this company. I was happy because now I get to renovate parts of the house I've always wanted to. And when I told my boyfriend, he told me to set aside a percentage of the money for him. I was so confused and I asked why, and he said it was because he already dreamed about me getting a raise and predicted this event before it happened. I said, I don't know, since I don't recall he ever told me. He got upset and said that the reason he didn't tell me was because how I kept making fun of his abilities and that I could go ask his friends and they'll confirm that he did in fact see this coming. I said I was sorry, but this seemed illogical and unreasonable of him. I refused to give him any money and he flipped out and called me ungrateful and claimed that I was turning my back on the people who helped me in a way to get this raise. I'm just like trying to understand, like, let's say you did predict it. I don't understand why you need any of her money. That makes absolutely no sense. It's not like she won the lottery and you predicted the lottery numbers. It's her job. Okay? Like, why? I don't understand. Not gonna lie, I kind of laughed at the absurdity of this, but he got even more offended and said that I can't blame him for not telling me after I kept mocking him like that. I refused and said that no way in hell was I going to give him any percentage and would rather save the extra money for renovation work around the house. We had an argument and he left to be with his friends, who later got involved and said that the way I treat my boyfriend and his incredible prediction ability was appalling and out of line. They said he wasn't asking for much and I should consider it. What? I don't like he's just saying okay, I predict you will get a raise in the future. He didn't contribute to that at all. Did he help her at all with the work? Does he work with her? Does he have anything to do with her managers and stuff like that? You predicted, let's say you did. It's not cuz of you she got the raise. It's cuz of her hard work. I don't understand. And this guy's it's 35. It's not like he's a little ass kid talking like this. Like he's a grown adult. Like why are you